What's up, book face? Whole bunch of peoples with books in your faces right now. Speaking of things in your face, a lot of things been pissing me off lately. So I've been kind of in your face. No, man, I think this is just a good time to talk about just where I stand. You know, because politics has really become like a hobby of mine, and okay, number one, as a voter, I've said this before, I'm independent. I want to see the best for our country. Okay? I want to hear policies. I want to see results, right? And like when I look around at what's going on in our political game, because that's exactly what it is. It's a game. When I look around and see what's going on, a lot of where do I start? So first of all, I was raised Democrat, and I would love to be a Democrat, but the Democratic Party is making it very, very, very difficult because the hatred for Trump is getting in the way of accurate reporting. It is. You know, so we've got Trump going out and holding a Bible, you know, for a photo shoot, and then instead of Nancy Pelosi, you know, drafting up a bill for healthcare, which they can be doing right now. No, instead they have to go and have another photo shoot. So this is our answer to things, right? One does a photo shoot, so oh no, we got to do our photo shoot too. They could be drafting a bill for healthcare right now. And I'm actually more left-leaning on the healthcare side. If you get sick, if you get an unexpected broken leg, if another car hits you and you're injured, I think that everybody should be able to have access to, you know, healthcare. All right? We just haven't figured out a way to do it, you know, in a way that's like Canada, where you're put on a wait. Oh, it's not so bad. We'll see you in 3 months. It's not so bad right now. There's a wait list, so, you know, I don't think that they should be telling you when, like, you have an emergency, how long you can wait. Like, if you have an emergency, you need to be seen, right? So we haven't figured out a way. And right now we have, in America, we have a privatized and a social healthcare system, right? I just think it's more of a bully way that, like, oh, well, you fucked up. You fucked up. You don't have health care. You know, it's your own fault. You know, you should have saved your money. You should have done the responsible thing. You know, I think that's a little heartless to say. Okay, so things like that. And the reason I didn't vote for Trump, again, is because of the social divide that was going to come with him. And look at how right I was. Look at this. We got people fighting in the streets. This is insane. This is insane. You know, I'm not going to attack somebody for wearing a red hat. But I've seen a few stories where it happens, you know? And it's just like with the media these days, it's like people are so quick to believe what the media has to say. Right? I know the media doesn't like Trump. I know this. But Trump isn't exactly wrong when he calls certain news fake news. He's not wrong, you know, because, for example, last night I did watch the Trump rally on replay because I was working, and, you know, but I watched the Trump rally last night. It was a packed stadium, right? Kayleigh McEnany came out and said that, you know, they were going to be doing temperature checks, they were going to be giving masks. I didn't, you know, so they held the Trump rally, right, in Tulsa. Well, then on my other phone, on my other phone, I'm looking at on Facebook, and somebody posts that nobody showed up for Trump. So that's the story that, you know, whatever that news, it was definitely a left-leaning news article, you know, and this is what makes me look bad, because I am left-leaning on some issues, I am right-leaning on issues. I tend to think that this is one of the greatest countries in the world. Everyone can vote, right? No one's held in chains and forced to work for 18 hours a day. We have freedom of speech, which I've debated with some of you guys. We've had debates, and I think that it's very healthy, and I don't want you to feel like you don't have a voice on my page. But the something that happened with my Facebook is that for the last decade, my Facebook was only active maybe 2 months out of the year. Okay? Then Trump happens, and the divide happens. So now I've got friends that both are Democratic, Republican, they lean left, they lean right. I've got friends on both sides. And I'm sitting here as an independent, and I'm like, every time I say that an article is not true, it's like all of a sudden, I'm a Trump supporter. But people that are so, what did my cousin call them? Never Trumpers? I think never Trumpers. But do you realize that pushes people away that actually have more in common and agree with you than you think? It's like I'm asking you to help me understand, and you're like, you don't understand. And I'm like, yes, I'm asking you to help me understand, right? But a lot of the issues that weren't talked about over the last maybe 3 years, because I caught COVID in March, and that's when I turned my Facebook back on. I was ill. It's 13 days. I felt like death. I had the flu in November. I beat that shit in 3 days. 13 days. I felt like absolute dog shit. Until day 14, I finally woke up and I felt like I had some life in me. I was so weak. So weak. You're so tired, and you wake up and you can't even lift your arms, and you're just so tired. You just wind up, sometimes I was sleeping for 20 hours at a time. But my family's the biggest reason why my Facebook has been this active. Am I still a hothead? Yeah. Same old Bam. Same old. Just a lot smarter. So that's what happened with my page, which is why I'm getting people that are yelling at friends that are yelling at other friends. Okay? Don't call people names. Not here. My page is going to be a voice for everybody. Okay? Whether you like Trump or not, whether you hate Trump or not. I'm not stifling the First Amendment right, unless you say, kill all Jews. Well, that's a shitty thing to say, Here's the thing about free speech. Here's my thing about free speech, okay? Is you can say, Bam, you're a fuck up. You could say it as much as you mean it. It doesn't make it true, but you're still free to say it. You're free to say it as much as you want. I don't feel like a fuck up. I got a roof over my head. Look at this, my love behind me right here. Daisy, come say hi. I got a loving dog. Look at this. Oh, you came onto the pool table. Come here. Oh, look at this. You see this? See this big baby right here? See this? This is love right here. Oh, that's love. Thank you. It's Daddy's Day, huh? Thank you, boo-boo. She's getting old on us. Okay, I know. Thank you for coming to say hi. I've got a loving family. I've got jobs, gig work and stuff. I've got great friends. I don't feel like a fuck up. But you're still free to say it. As much as you mean it in your world. As much as you mean it in your emotions, in your mind. You're still free to say that I am a fuck up. That's how I feel about freedom of speech. Okay? And that's what we're going to honor here. Okay? Now, as for this upcoming election, I have no idea why we are pushing Biden. Okay? We're going to hold all these things over Trump's head. Right? But they're pushing Biden, and they're not even talking about what his past was like. I mean, he does have a quid pro quo with Ukraine, withholding aid until they fired the prosecutor that was investigating his son Hunter. Biden withheld the aid. Kavanaugh. We heard Christine Blasey Ford on the stand. Why aren't they treating Tara Reade the same? With the same respect? If she has a claim, she should be heard. But no. Like, this is what pisses me off about the media. But no, because it's Biden, we got to protect him. You know? He can't hold a thought together. You think he has 4 years? Because definitely not 8. And if he has 4 years, you think that's going to stop Trump? No, Trump's coming back. Trump is coming back. And essentially who we're voting for with Biden is vice president, which then becomes a divide again, because you're dividing the vote on the Democratic side because people are going to be happy or unhappy with the vice president, and that's going to change maybe more independents like me, their mind to just go with what's consistent already and just go with Trump, right? The thing I don't like about Trump is the divisiveness. As a troll, sometimes he can be funny. So I honestly, I wish he wasn't our president, because sometimes I'm like, man, you wrong for that, but that was fucking funny. Like, sometimes, but you know, I'm also following him on Twitter. Twitter's where I get a lot of my real news, because you can't lie to Twitter. The truth comes out eventually between the articles and the pictures and the, you know, the claims and all that. I mean, everything comes out on Twitter. But if we put Biden up against Trump, first of all, Trump's gonna have a field day with him in the debates, because Biden can't hold much of his thoughts together. He's been doing okay the past, you know, week or so, maybe week and a half. He's been doing okay. But look up Joe Biden gaffes. There's a lot of them, a lot. I'm worried for Biden. Plus, if he could solve some sort of divisive problem, why didn't he do that with Obama? Because we had the divide going into Trump, you know, and it's like, okay, well, you know, and then there's the crime bill, which incarcerated a lot of people in low-income areas and gave them very, very harsh sentences. I actually have the proof from Joe Biden's mouth. If you want to see in the comments below, I have the proof for that. Biden is responsible for incarcerating a lot of people in low-income areas. He's also threatened to, in order to get rid of the deficit, to stop all government spending. That means, you know, I have a grandma that's on Medicaid and just had 2 strokes, right? That I take care of every Monday and stay overnight, that I have to take care of. What does that mean for her? I don't want Biden in there. I'm honestly, I'm afraid to have Biden in there. He ran on the premise with Obama that they were going to get us out of the war, and in fact, they made it worse. They kept the war. So I don't trust Biden. So we're going to hold all these things over Trump's head, but Biden gets a pass on all of this? Not with me. Biden does not get a pass with me. No. First, let's hear Tara Reid. Then maybe I'll consider potentially vote. But I don't hear policies out of him. I don't hear policies coming. The whole premise is that either you're a Trump supporter, right, and you're voting for Trump, or you're just anti-Trump and would vote for anybody that's not Trump. That's a dangerous thing. Think about that. That's a dangerous thing. Because then we don't know what we're voting into office. All we know is we're voting against Trump. That's all we know. So, in my theory, Trump's numbers are down right now because he was pretty quiet for about 2 days and hid in a bunker after the protest. So he's down I think 5 or 9 points right now. So I mean, but after seeing that rally last night, I mean, you know, the media makes us feel a certain way. They do. They make us feel a certain way. And then when Trump actually shows up to these rallies and they hear it speak and hear stuff that may not have been true from the media, and that it's actually like there in person, I honestly think that we're going to get 4 more years of Trump. And that's not me being a Trump supporter. That's looking at the big picture. Looking at the big picture. And the one thing I hate the most is the division. Some of Trump's policies, school choice, prison reform, got a lot of people out of jail for marijuana. But, that one I agree with. He's made animal cruelty a felony. I've been speaking my mind, and now Facebook is deleting my shit. And it's like, well, didn't that just happen to fucking Trump 2 weeks ago on Twitter when, the Twitter fact-checking department, they put a fact check on one of Twitter's. Didn't that just fucking happen to this fucking guy, the orange man? Didn't that just happen to him too, like 2 weeks ago? So now, like, okay, he puts an executive order about, letting people speak freely, like I'm able to do right now. What are they gonna do? You gonna take down this one too? For me trying to actually rationalize and talk to my peoples? Is that more productive? Just silence me? Like, how are we gonna get anywhere if we can't have a conversation? And stop calling each other names. Because there are people that are very, very angry. Very, very angry. And you gotta let the mainstream media stop playing with your emotions like that, because I know, having a psychology background, I know what they're doing. You wanna know what they're doing? What they're doing is that, so where you are right here, intellectually, right, today, where you are right here intellectually, emotionally, they call it emotional intelligence, I'm sure you've heard that before. Your emotional intelligence is 10 years behind your intellectual intelligence. And this stuff right here is based on intellect. So where we're at today, we will need 10 years to emotionally mature. But the media, they know this. And what's the two most powerful emotions in the world? Love and hate, right? That's what we figured out in the media. It's either love or hate, right? Fear. We hate fear. Nobody loves fear. Okay, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. I'm not gonna say I have a love-hate relationship with fear. but they're playing on your emotions. They're trying to make the most fear-mongering ads and videos. And you know what it's for? It's for clicks and views. That's what they're really competing for. They're not competing to help you be smarter as a voter. They're not helping you be productive by telling you policies. All they're doing it for is their money, the clicks and the views. So once you figure that out, then you start to read these articles, and then you have to read everything with an ear of skepticism. Because I just don't, and last night was a perfect fucking example. I was watching the Trump rally. I watched it. I'm open-minded. All right, how's it going? How did it, let's hear what he had to say, him and Pence. And then I see a post. It was underwhelming. The turnout was underwhelming. And I'm like, some of this stuff, I'm like, do you guys really think this is true? Lysol. It took me less than 5 minutes of research. Actually, less than 2 minutes of research to go and find the clip of what Trump actually said. But it is irresponsible of the mainstream media to be running stories, for lack of a better, they're running stories and telling you Trump said inject Lysol into your vein or under your skin. That is a fucking dangerous message. That's fucking so outrageously fucking stupid. That should not have been ran as a fucking story in the news. That's a really dangerous thing. What if kids heard that? What if kids heard just those one words? That little bit. Trump said inject Lysol into your veins to kill the coronavirus. Guys, wake up. Wake up. If you have a question, a political question, and I can't answer it, I will 100% tell you. Michael Flynn, perfect example. Have no idea. There's a story on the right and there's a story on the left. And both of them are believable. Have no fucking idea what happened with the Michael Flynn case. Have not a fucking clue. Which sucks for the American people. Because then we get career politicians that are getting away with this shit. You know, and we're just here on the sidelines like, none of us have a say. We don't have a say in this. None of us do. None of us do. They're controlling everything we think. And they're doing a great job controlling our emotions too, while they feed us it. So, and that's not conspiracy, because like I said last night, or 2 nights ago, I'm no hard right. I think I was going this way for the right. Yeah, I'm no hard right conspiracy theorist like Alex Jones, and I am not a far left conspiracy theorist like Michael Moore. Right? Do they exist? Yes. But we got to stop believing that you are hard right and alt right, racist, what other names they call them? Racist, homophobic, xenophobic, if you think right at all, right? If you think right at all, you got to stop calling people names like that. Because it's not everyone. I lean moderately right, but I'm also left on certain. I'm left and I'm independent. Okay, I have to keep coming back to this. It's this independent right here. We gotta stop assuming that everyone on the right is hard right, fascist, right? And then we gotta stop assuming that everyone on the left is an anti-fascist and what are the other words? Anti-fascist, liberal snowflakes. That's another one, right? We got to stop assuming these things about each other, because they have. I mean, I'd love to not include myself because I see what's going on, but they have us. They have us right where they want us. They have us arguing with each other. They have us fighting with each other. And it wasn't your fault. Did you notice that? It wasn't your fault. You didn't do it. Right? I voted for Trump. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. They went crazy on their own. I voted for Hillary. I didn't do it. I didn't have all this, crazy shit. This, injecting Lysol and all that. Like, guys, you gotta fucking driving me nuts. And I'd like to have a political conversation live with you guys. I would love to talk to you guys, because this fucking 5-paragraph essay shit is getting old. And it's too time consuming. And sometimes I have to use voice recognition because I'm driving, and it puts another word instead of another word. And, next thing you know, it looks like I have bad grammar. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, I think that's all we got for today's show. I really do. And I think that you guys have a better understanding of where I stand and what a true independent is. Okay? I want to hear policies. I want to see results. Okay? I don't want to see burning buildings. All right? That shit to me is going backwards. Calling everybody a racist, that shit is going backwards. That's backpedaling. Okay? So, like, I guess that's, I'm Bam, and I approve this message.